Alright class, so today we're working with polynomial functions and we're working on being able to graph them based on knowing their end behavior, the zeros, and the multiplicity of the zeros. So we're going to start by looking for some patterns and some graphs to help us do this. But first, I want to give you a couple notes that you should write just at the top of your page. These would be just really handy, maybe nice for a future note card to have or something. So I would suggest writing these down. They'll also help you when you need to do the problems yourself. So the first thing that I want you to know is anytime you have an even function, both of the ends are going to be going up. So both ends go up if the leading coefficient is positive. Now the leading coefficient is the coefficient that's just in front of the very first term, which happens to be the variable with the highest power. So for example, an even function could be x to the fourth plus 3x squared, we'll do cubed, plus 2x minus 1. So we see that our leading coefficient will actually be 1 that I wrote there in orange, and it's an even function because the highest power is even. Okay? So we know this is even, and we know that the leading coefficient would be 1, and that's positive. So if I drew a little graph of that, you would know that at the ends of it doesn't matter where they are, they would both be going up. So whatever happens here in between that I'm doing in brown doesn't matter. The ends are always going up. Okay? Now, if you have an even function, both ends go down if the leading coefficient is negative. So if we had, for example, a negative x to the 6th, I drew a little graph right here. The ends are always going to be going down. It doesn't matter what's in between, you'll always know that the ends are going down. Now, for odd functions. So odd functions would mean that the highest power is an odd number. So these ones are a little different. So if the leading coefficient is positive, then it starts down and ends up. So on the right over here, I'm going to draw a little graph. Let's say, for example, we just had x to the 7th. Alright? You know then that it's going to start down and end up. Doesn't matter what happens in between, but it's going to start down and end up. Now the last thing is if the leading coefficient is negative, then it starts up and ends down. So if I drew a little graph over here on the left, say we had negative 15 x to the 3rd, we've got a negative leading coefficient, we've got an odd power, so that means it's going to be starting up, ending down. Doesn't matter what's in between.